One of my favorite Paulie scenes. There's a lot of them, but it's when Tony sort of corners him on the boat in the final season. And he's like, "You're the one that let that out about the Johnny Sack joke, right?" "Nah, Tony, no. Nah, come on. It's not even a big deal anymore. You could tell me. You're the one that did it, right?" "No, Tone. Frankly, I'm offended that you'd even say something like that." Come on. I know it was you, Paulie. Just admit it. Come on." And meanwhile, Tony is going to kill him if he admits it. That's the beauty of that scene. Because even when he frankly, Tone, I'm offended you'd even say something like that, and ends the conversation, Tone is looking at every weapon, every deadly weapon that's around him on that boat. There's there's this big knife they're cutting bait up with. There's this I don't know, bat over here they're killing fish with. And he's thinking about killing Paulie right then and there, because Paulie's got a big fucking mouth. He's seeing it right now. He just saw it yesterday, him blabber mouthing to some random girl. And he's almost sure that Paulie was the one who told about that joke. And that created such a clusterfuck. And he did, of course. He was, of course, the one who did it.
He did, yeah.
One problem that's common across mob movies is the tough guys wouldn't be tough guys. There are people who are literally 215 pounds overweight who are tough guys. There are people like Tony who can't beat Paulie. There are Joe Pesci, one of the toughest guys in mob movies. Joe Pesci, I want to get all. I could beat up Joe Pesci. He's 5'5",
pretty old.
He's 80. Fuck that guy up.
You know what? I'm not gonna be modest. I'd fuck up Joe Pesci.
How many Joe Pescis could you take in a fight?
Yeah. So, but they take a Joe Pesci or this guy, and they just stack rank them wrong. Why can't tough guys be tough? Why can't?
Right. I got a tough guy here who was actually in the mob. This guy's name is Primo Casarino. Now, one of the things he did was extort Steven Seagal out of about $400,000.
Nice.
So he was hired by a movie producer, if I remember the story correctly. I may be slightly off with the title. We asked the guy what movie producers do. This is what they do. This movie producer had a deal with Steven Seagal to make, one of those multi-picture deals. Steven's guru says, you really shouldn't be making these violent movies. Goes against your whole mantra, your whole code. And he's like, yes, no more killing in my films. And this guy's like, dude, you break people apart in every movie. That's your thing. You kill 30 people a movie. We make 25 million a movie. That's what we do here. So now I'm not going to kill anymore. So this guy he calls up his mob buddy, this gentleman whatever his name is, and says, put the screws to Steven Seagal. He doesn't want to play ball. Well, he not only puts the screw, his
Primo.
name is, I got him Primo Casarino. Awesome.
Are you looking at him on your computer?
I pulled up his Wikipedia.
Okay.
He doesn't have a photo on his Wikipedia.
I mean, if you Google image search him,
yeah.
But anyway, they kidnap Steven Seagal and threaten him and eventually not only does they make Steven Seagal do the movies, but he has to give the mobsters $400,000 for their trouble, and he gave it to them. And they caught this guy talking about it to his buddies afterwards on a wiretap. And they were laughing at what a pussy Steven Seagal was. And Primo says, I only wish I had a gun so I could have put in his face like they do in the movies. So this is a real tough guy.
He is tough looking too.
Yeah. He's filling out that Nautica jacket.
He sure is.
Yeah. That's a scary looking dude.
Although I must say, the guy behind him and to the left, also a very large looking man. He's further back, but he looks bigger. Think about that.
Yeah.
And he also looks Italian. Maybe he's some other mobster.
Does he have cuffs on? I can't tell.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know. You can't tell. Well, his hands are close together.
Yeah.
Who knows? In any case.
So this guy extorted Steven Seagal.
Yeah. I think with this mobster thing is they're not threatening to have a fist fight with you. They're threatening to kill you. And they may not even mean right now. They're threatening to come back tonight. Maybe they start a little fire. I mean, when you come out to the fire, remember, that's what they did in The Sopranos. If you think about what they actually did when they want somebody to do their thing, when Robert Patrick's character, Davey, owes Tony the gambling debt, they start a fire and his dumpster's outside at night. He runs outside in his underwear to put out his dumpster fire, and now 2 goons have him cornered in an alley, and they're like, "You gonna pay the money? You gonna pay the money?" There's not fisticuffs time. There's no winning that fight. If you started beating them both up, they'd pull out a gun or a knife or a club. They're going to escalate to murder. That's where they're headed. They stop it. They don't stop it anywhere. And you, on the other hand, are like, man, I really just want y'all to leave me alone. I can't just beat you up and then you'll tell the other guys how tough I am. No, we tell them you need to die now.
It's like, no, we're an organized crime and we'll send more guys. And we don't think you're going to have your head on a swivel 24/7.
You know what it's like? Here's the perfect example, if this makes sense. I like drawing these like comparisons between things sometimes. It's like thinking the cops aren't scary because the cop looks like a pussy. Look at that cop.
That's a good one.
I could whoop his fucking ass. Why are people so afraid of the cops? I could beat the shit out of that cop. Yeah, let's see how that one goes over.
You're right. I've seen that a lot.
That's a good comparison.
Sometimes what happens is cops think that they are badass because they beat up people who aren't fighting back. And those people who aren't fighting back, they know that there's more cops coming. That if you just beat this one cop, that's not the end of the story. And it frustrates me to see cops strut around like peacocks.
It's like the Ron White joke. I don't know how many of them it would have took to whoop my ass, but I know how many they was going to use. As many as it took is the answer. That's what it's like. If you're thinking you could beat up a mobster or a cop, I think, or like, and you might say, oh, I've got a gun though. Both scenarios. Let's see. But they do too.
But they have more. You're one person.
They have a helicopter.
And like that's the thing with the mobsters is like you're not afraid of Joe Pesci, so to speak, or like Bobby Bagliari. Like you're not afraid of him. You're afraid of his ability to use his influence to send goons at you, because that guy's got dozens of people he could call on to go send a little troop at. Like I saw the scene when I was rewatching just last night. You know how Bobby Bacala, he's the least intimidating one. He's the one, he's friendly and everything. And then he's worried about his wife dying and everything. And then Junior's like, he's getting soft. And then he just goes to that bar with the one union guy, and formerly like sweet Bobby is now sitting there like, oh, you vote for that guy, you may as well be putting a bullet in your head here, and here. And you got kids. So it's always something to think about. And then he gets up and leaves, and it's like that guy's not the union guy is not scared of Bobby. He's probably like, that guy couldn't catch me. He's afraid of Bobby's influence and the fact that Bobby is part of an organized crime syndicate that has an enormous amount of reach, and like they can just come upon. They're not cops. They're plainclothes people. You're gonna avoid every dark-haired person. Like what are you gonna do?
You're right. When I said that, I was thinking more like, is it a Bronx Tale? Where they shut the door and they beat up the biker gang.
You can't leave.
Yeah. Really, that biker gang is the one I would have put my money on. Not the super fat guy or the old guy.
It would have been better if they pulled
children.
If they like pulled out guns and had them at gunpoint and then just pistol whipped them, like giving them no chance at all.
They could have brought in people who were actually tough guys instead of just bringing in the actors.
Oh, dude, you see that fat man bear hug?
Yeah, fat men aren't that strong.
No, they're not.
no, they're not.
You see that fat guy? That guy who's never seen the inside of a gym? Bear hug.